Good evening, all. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, we are live, and I wish you all a happy, Friday. Yes, the Hello Friday live stream from New York City. Yes. Let me know if you hear me okay, and if the screen gets a little blur. Sometimes when I move, the camera that I'm using gets out of focus. It's on autofocus, and so sometimes if I move or pick up something from the floor and not look on the monitor, I may not realize that it gets blur. So yeah, I haven't used this camera in a while. So just let me know. Yes. I hope you guys had a very wonderful week. For me to do this live stream, it's like I feel like I've been away for a while using this computer. It's really weird. But yeah, I like doing the live streams, and yeah, I want to talk about all different types of subjects. And if you look on the description below, you'll see the detail of the different topics I want to talk about. And yes, I see that we have a viewer. Welcome, viewer. Welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Friday evening. Yes, I'm going to talk about a few things today. You know, before I forget, I put in my nose hoop ring. See, yeah, I had this stud in before for about a year, and I changed it into the hoop maybe 2 days ago, and my nose is a little sore. So yeah, it was a big challenge trying to put the hoop on, because like the hoop, it's curved. And what I had in before was a straight post. And so it's a little sensitive because it's a different type of pressure being put on it. Hey, girl. Yeah, hi, Betty. Yeah, I'm just starting now. Yeah, it's always good to see you online. It's really a pleasure. And you really motivate me. You really encourage me. So it's really nice when you come on. You know, I see that, we all need encouragement, and I find that the things that you say is very encouraging to me. It's really nice. So I value the things that you say. And it's really what I also like about you, Betty, is that I like how you express yourself, and you're not afraid to share, and Betty, I bet you would be a really good YouTuber. It would be good if you put some content out there too, because I would like to hear things that you like to do, what interests you, and I thought I liked your last post that you put on my the video that I did. Yeah, I never thought of me being someone who's a medium, and it's really interesting that I did speak to a spiritualist maybe 2 days ago. No, I'm sorry. It was last Saturday I spoke to a spiritualist, and surprisingly, he mentioned the same thing. He said that he thinks I'm developing to become a medium. I never thought of myself as such, but it's interesting, I guess, according to one's background, that how they perceive certain things, interpret things in others or themselves. So who knows? It could be. I don't know. But you mentioned that this person's name. I forget the person's name. I have to look back on the comment to remember the person's name, to be reminded. And I'm going to check him out online to find out more about, his experiences as it pertains to mine. So I'll do that. And thank you for that info. Yeah, I'll definitely check them out. So yeah, what I want to talk about today, I have, oh yeah, so I mentioned about my nose ring. So my nose is a little, if you look on the side, it is a little sensitive, and I think the nose ring, this hoop, is a little bit too small. I know I must have worn it before. Um, I think next time maybe I'll just go back to the store and get a larger hoop. And yeah, because I noticed where they pierced it, it's like further up. It's right on the crease of my nostril, right, rather than on the curve. So I mean, what I could even do is get another piercing, but it lower, you know, and because I think with it's higher up like that, it's where the crease is, there's more oils and stuff like that, and so bacteria and things like that, and maybe that's why it took so long to heal. So I it's really sensitive. So maybe I'll just have them re-pierce it in a different location. Maybe even two more holes. I like the double piercing that some people have. They have it like side by side, like on a diagonal. And I like that. So maybe I might do it. I don't know. But I wanted to get that out the way because I forgot to mention about the nose ring. And let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Uh, okay. I'll just go for my list here that I have. I have my notes on the side, so you might see me look on the side, whatever. And so that's all that I'm doing. Okay, I got another response. TY, let's see. For the kind words okay. I'll say, I'm too shy to go. Oh, I pick and choose who I associate with in person or online as I get older. Yeah. That's always smart, Betty, to be wise at who you talk to online. Yeah, definitely. It's always good to be safe than sorry. Yeah. Let's see. And yes, thank you, Betty. Thank you that you like my nose ring. Yeah. Let's see. I'm just looking at my notes here. I gotta put on my glasses. My reading glasses. I'm really bad without them if I have to read something. Okay, I'm going to talk about the lab results. I had gone to the hospital to get a copy of my lab results. And well, I had gone to the doctor's, the hospital, the ER room. That was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I had an episode. It was a weird incident, and I did talk about this in one of my videos. But about 2 weeks ago, those who don't know, I was having lunch with a family member, and at the end of our meal, about 6 p.m., something like, for the other individual, he said it's like a wave that hit him on the side of the head, and me, it kind of made me slump in my chair a little bit, and then my mood changed, and it got very solemn, and then my heart started racing, and also in my mind there was something like a guilt trip, and I was wondering, what's this coming from? And then my heart was pounding really, really fast and hard. And I told my family member, I said, my heart's racing. I don't know what's wrong. And the person said, just sit back and relax. And the individual shared with me, what happened to him at the same moment. But his heart wasn't racing, but mine was. And what I think in hindsight, I think I was targeted. Something electrical, something hit me, but because of the other person's proximity, being close to me, he got a portion of it, but just slight, and then I got the full impact. And for those of you out there who have been watching my channel, I posted videos on the new well, they're not actually new. These technologies have been out for a while. What's called the Voice of God technology, all these other microwaves that are used to effect on the person's mind, their body. They can make your heart race, they can make you sleepy, they can make you angry, all these things. They can make you even hear things, or your mind, your thoughts, and weird thoughts. And it's patented some of these devices. I think I was something hit me, and one of these type of weaponry, or whatever what you call it, had been used on me. And that's also why I talked to this spiritualist last week to get some, the person's opinion. And the person just said that it was something definitely external to me that was being done. And he felt that it was something I hope I'm getting this right, not necessarily targeted to me, but I was in the way. But either way, I mean, to use anything on people it's an evil. To do experiments on people is evil. It's not right. Your body and your mind are yours, and it's not to be played with by anyone. And so you have people who do these things, who want to experiment, who want to see people squirm, they want to see their heart race, So I'm glad that I was with someone at the time, because I think if I was alone, that it could have really escalated. And for the person telling me, just sit back and relax. Just calm yourself down. I think that was a good thing, because anything could have happened, So I did go and buy some things. I shared this in an earlier video. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I bought this new device, and I'll show you guys also again. Okay. This just came in the mail. Okay, I hope I can get it. Okay, let me try to go. I'm trying to have it. Oh, it's hard to get it. Maybe I go like this. Yeah, it's called the Tri-Field. I'm sorry that, the camera is focusing on me, so it's hard to get it. But this is a device that measures different types of frequencies. It measures radio frequencies, electrical frequencies, and magnetic frequencies. And so you just turn this dial and you can set it to different settings here, whether it be electrical or magnetic, or on this far end here. This one is the only one that is radio frequencies, So it's the brand name is Tri-Field, and the model number is TF2. That's Tommy, Frank, and the number 2. Okay, this is their newer model, Tri-Field. Okay, and because I like when things like what I discussed, what happened to me at the restaurant, similar type of things happened to me, but I was alone. And when it happened to me alone a couple of years ago, I thought I was having a heart attack. It is an awful thing to feel, and you feel vulnerable. But I started thinking back. See, you are your best friend. You are your best doctor, because you are the first line of defense. Your health defense, your everything. And so you have to start to think really smart. And you say, okay, you want to rule out certain things, but you need data. So I come from a very science background in school. And so I believe in science. I believe what I believe science, to use science as a tool. And so I bought this device. And so what I want to rule out, it could be something physical, what happened in the restaurant. It could have been something I ate. I was drinking the water just before it hit me. Could have been something in the water. It could have been someone putting drugs in the water. You never know. You never know. And so my science self said, hey, go to the ER. Just make sure nothing's going on. And then get the other diagnostic testing there. So first, they check your heart and everything, and then they did the diagnostic. And so I went today to get the lab results and everything. I had an MRI done with contrast, with and without contrast. They took it of my head, my neck, and my lumbar. Well, the lumbar was done because I had pain of something separate to the incident that happened at the restaurant, but I wanted to get checked out. I also had my blood checked, and what else? My stool. I had to get that checked out because all of a sudden I started to get loose stools. And when I checked online, some of the symptoms of microwave use or things electrical, all those things, your ears were ringing. My ears were definitely ringing, and it was hurting my ears. It was really, really bad, and it was just a weird sensation, and it lasted a couple of days. I wish that the symptoms were how to word this. See, when I got the MRI done, the symptoms in my ears went away, but I would rather that I had the diagnostic, and especially with the MRI of the head, with the ear, bothering me. So then it might have been more revealing, okay? But in short, with everything, I read the lab results, the test results of the MRI, but it's a lot of, how do you say, not legalese, but doctor talk, doctor terminology, medical terminology. And I'm not a doctor, but it seems like they're saying that there was nothing abnormal, And I was planning on seeing a chiropractor, and but the chiropractor did not want to do any manipulations of my neck or head, whatever, without these lab tests, because he was concerned if it was a minor stroke that I had and things like that. So I'm going to, I have to wait also a couple more days to get for the MRI, I got the report, but not the pictures. And the pictures are going to come next week, I was told. And once I get those pictures, along with, bring their notes, their typed notes, bring that to the chiropractor and have him look on everything and hear his opinion, and go from there if I want to continue seeing, to continue seeing this chiropractor for treatment or not, So I hope the best with everything. But overall, the MRI seems like there was nothing abnormal, but there was something they said was half full, something in the ear. I have to really look at it again, but it seems so-called normal. What else? The blood test for drugs and other, components of the blood is normal. What else? Again, there's no bacteria or foodborne illnesses in there, and it's all so-called normal. I'm glad that the tests are normal. I don't want to be sick, but something caused it, and that's why I'm thinking more and more that some electrical or magnetic rays were used upon me. Yeah, and I think it's awful. And I think it's awful that here I was just talking about something just general and just stuff that's on the internet. I was discussing at the time about what's called the secret space program, and that I noticed there was a correlation. A lot of the people that claimed that they have been in this program, or the 20 years and back program, that they all seem to have O negative blood. And that's all I said, and that so I knew only 2 people who have O negative blood, and then whammo, then something happened to me. It was really weird. It like it was a feeling of guilt. I wasn't slamming anybody or slandering anyone. I was just making a fact. Hey, I know some people that have O negative blood, and that's basically it. And then boom, it's like someone was listening. Someone was listening to what I had to say. And I wonder, how could someone hear what I'm saying? I'm in a restaurant that was virtually empty. There were, people, some of them might have been older than me, some young, it might have been 2 couples. And I mean, just to feel that way, to feel that your conversation could be eavesdropped on someone, because that's what it really is, that what I was talking about. I believe what happened to me happened because what I was saying. And I'm thinking, if you don't like what I have to say, don't listen. No one told you to listen to what I was saying, and I was talking to someone. And I was talking soft. I don't have a really big mouth, but still, for someone to listen. And that's why I was thinking that, hey, is there some type of device, what do you call it, a bugging device in the restaurant, or what you call an implant, that many people in this genre of the super soldiers or the secret space program allege have these implants that they could track you, they could listen to what you're listening to, could see what you're looking at. And it's like, I don't need that. I don't need that one bit. And I did discuss in much earlier videos of mine, and I recorded it as it was happening, that I felt this vibration in my, I guess you call it your lumbar, the very, very lower part of your spine, and it was vibrating, and it felt like a beam of energy is coming, and coming in me. It was weird. It was weird. And so I had this device when that happened. I know this sounds weird, but see, I don't feel I should be ashamed about sharing. See, again, Spirit Journey channel, it's about just that, to become aware of what I'm about, to learn about who I am, and to share what I learn. And some of the things might seem embarrassing, but see, it's about freedom and to be free from shame. And so I want to share my experiences because some other people out there could be going through the same thing. They could be experiencing similar phenomenon. And so I share so that others could say, hey, didn't that happen to me? Or didn't that happen to so-and-so? And then you start to compare your notes. So either way, I had gotten this device. This one is a RF monitor. Let not, I was going to say record, it picks up radio frequency. So if, let's say you have an implant or your phone is being bugged, this thing could check. So that's also why I got it. Yeah, I still don't know, I'm not an expert at it. I've used it a few times, but it's hard to use because it's just like a meter. It's a bunch of lights I turn on. Let me turn it on for you. You're going to see. Let me turn on. See that? Yeah, got it. See, it makes that noise. So, see that? It gets confusing. Let me just turn it off. Yeah, it's just radical, So I wanted to get something. With this one it's more complete. This one does the radio waves and the electrical and the magnetic waves. The last thing I want to get, and maybe you guys could also help me out here. I want to get an app that could, how do you say, I'm trying to remember the name. What's a satellite? I mean, I have one app, but I thought it was going to be all the different satellites in your immediate area, but this app is just the what do you call it, the International Space Station satellite, and it lets you know where it's positioned on the in the atmosphere, and how long will it take to get to one position to another. So that's not what I want, but it also does, shows you where the constellations are, and I thought that was neat. But I want to get an app that could measure. Oh, I just remembered. I saw something online. There is something that there's a list of the different satellites, and some of them are for radio or television, and then some of them are private and government stuff. It gives a whole list of names, so I thought that was important. Yeah, but yeah, I want to get an app that I could have, and you could, again, with my having a science background, see, it's about elimination. Eliminate what doesn't fit, what's nothing, and then you want to find, are there any commonalities? So let's say an event like what happened to me at the restaurant happens again, and I get an app let's say it's a satellite. Let's say every time a particular phenomenon happens, a particular satellite is in my vicinity. Okay, so you might be able to pinpoint what is possibly causing, and if it occurs 99% of the time, then increases the probability. Then you document everything, and you just leave it as specifics, data. What you're talking about when you target it, it's about data, not about so much feelings. You want to document what is your heart rate, what is your pulse doing, symptoms like anything happening in your GI, everything, rashes, whatever. When something occurs, the time that it occurs, is someone with you? What are you talking about when these things happen? So you're being the detective, okay? And again with the satellites, what's there? And then you can test and see. Go to a different location and see if this satellite thing is still above you. You know what I'm saying? If you go 100 miles away, And then this thing is still there, the satellite. So again, it's measuring the possible correlation, and that some things are not by accident but by design. If something is following you, and then you track it, you document it, and if the list that you have and that you documented is overwhelmingly showing you that it's not by chance, that the statistics of it happening is not by chance, then you may have enough information to bring to the authorities. See, now there's anti-stalking laws that, like, Donald Trump had passed a bill, and again, I did a video on this also. I forget the name of this bill that was passed, but you just look on my channel, you type in the word bill, I guess, BILL, and the video will pop up, and you'll be able to watch it. But yeah, I did a very detailed video about this new bill that was passed by President Trump, that it's against the law, and I think it's a felony by using these what they call targeting individuals. You're doing things without consent. Things are being done without your consent upon you, and the stalking and things like that. I wish I could remember the bill. But either way, I have that law on my side. We all do. So, but you got to get evidence. And I think if it's enough people, I'm just hoping, because I think people should just get a life of their own. Why try, like how I feel these days, why try to control others when you can just learn how to control yourself, control your own impulses, That's what I want to do. My aim is not to control others. I want to be able to control myself, to understand myself. That's all that I'm in charge of. So for someone to do experiments and to torture some people, it's evil. So again, I want to keep these devices near me, by my bed, and if these phenomenons happen, I'm going to turn them on and get a reading. I already done a base reading. So like a base reading means, like, when everything is good, you put these devices on to just see what it looks like, what the readings are, what level it's on. So if it deviates far from it, then you know that is an anomaly. Okay? An anomaly. That's something that is outside of the norms, something that is questionable. Okay? And so it's a red flag. And again, maybe it could be a neighbor using something, maybe they have a new stereo system, whatever. But it's about finding out if there's patterns of things. Let's say if I'm discussing certain topics again, and every time you talk about a certain thing, that certain things happen, then again, it could mean that maybe your place is bugged. And again, this device could find bugs. I don't mean little insects. I mean like a plant, like a listening device. And this could find it. So, yeah. And just you have to be smart, and I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed about everything. So that's that. Let me just put this back. What else I got here? Like I want to start doing more meditation. I did a meditation, was it 2 days ago? Yeah, I really need to do more meditation. I have to be honest. I think, like, even though I tell everybody that I want to um, learn more, and so I'm just changing something here. Like, I want to, you know, learn more about my spiritual aspects and to experience these different types of stuff. But at the same time, I'm actually really timid because I'm from a just a really standard background, and this type of topic of spirituality, it's bizarre to me. It's different. But I'm allowing myself to explore this topic, about meditation, and I'm learning that life is more than things that we see. I see that now. And I think the more that we learn, we master, I should say master, but we learn more about the world that we don't see, things will start to really make sense. And this transition for me from this physicality to the so-called spiritual, it's a little intimidating for me. Yeah, I'm the science person, and if you can't see it, smell it, touch it, taste it, it doesn't exist. But I'm learning that that's not true, and that scares me. So I do want to do more meditation, and I think I got scared about some of the things that I experienced. The things that I experienced in my meditation wasn't bad, but it was just different. And I said, "Whoa!" It's like I open up a can of worms, and it's like once you become aware, spiritual. When you have a spiritual experience, an anomaly, you can't change it. You can't unlearn it. Once you experience the paranormal, that's it. And it's no turning back from being the naive girl I was. So, but this transition is really spooky. But I really want to know certain things. So, well, I bought these things. These are selenite. It's a crystal, and you hold in your hands like I watched this particular YouTuber. She does hypnosis, and she used the selenite crystals. She doesn't use these shaped ones. She used the round ones, the flat, roundish ones that could fit in the palm of the hands. But I kind of like the rod, and she uses these things for her clients when they're doing what they call the past life regression hypnosis session. And so I'm wondering, hey, when I do my meditation, if this will help me go deeper in meditation, then let me try it. So I got these, and then she uses, let me get something else now. These things here, I got 3 different ones. This is called shungite. These are the high quality ones. They're polished. And you can use these things in your water. It purifies and I think charges your water. But I didn't get it for the water to do that. But they can be used for it. You put it in your water, and you can drink it. Not drink it, but you can drink the water that has this in it. But this hypnosis therapist uses this shungite, and you hold in your hand for grounding. Also, shungite absorbs electromagnetic waves. So let's say if I get hit again by some type of electrical or magnetic device, this will absorb it and or block it. So I got this also for it. And I do have shungite throughout my apartment, raw shungite, the big chunks of it. And, let me see if one might be here. I leave it by electrical devices, like my computers. Let me see if one's here. Oh, I think I feel it. Okay. Okay, I had to make sure that it got clear again because I don't want what happened last time. This, see that? This is shungite. This is in its raw form, and this is in the polished form. You see that? So these things, I was told, shungite in the raw, you leave it by devices that give off electrical or magnetic waves. So I had this by all my computers and by light sources that give, I have a fluorescent light, and so I use this to absorb the negative waves that come out of it, Yeah, I'm determined to put this back. Okay. Yeah, so this is shungite. It feels really nice in the hand too. So you use these according to this hypnosis therapist. Like after a session, like a lot of times after a hypnosis session, your whole body is vibrating, and so you want to get what they call grounded. To get out of your head and get more physical. You feel your body, you feel so-called normal. So these things help you bring you back to your regular physical state, So after I meditate, then I'll use these. Okay. I'll put it back. Yeah, so that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about, the these anomalies, and each one teach one. And see, the more the online community shares information, the more that we could educate one another and stop the wickedness that is being done behind the scenes. See, they get away with what they're doing because no one knows who's doing it. So I think the more that we're equipped, I think people will start to believe the community, and I hope that they get exposed, So that's the first thing I want to talk about. And I just used the term to get exposed, and that just reminds me of the Hollywood producer called Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. He's one of the top, if not one of the top producers of Hollywood films, and he was just arrested today in New York City. Hello. I'm surprised he's getting arrested in New York City, just like Bill Cosby got arrested in New York City for the alleged rape, molestations, and the like. Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. And I watched, after I saw it over the internet today, in the late afternoon, and then I went on the internet to find any other thing on YouTube about it, his arrest, and then it led me to what happened in court, where he's being, I think you call, arraigned, and what was the other thing, and then there was a documentary on him. I forget the name, but I did something like the people who worked for Harvey Weinstein. Yes. You had different people, and they shared their experiences. And this one person was a was wow, she gave a story. It happened 20 years ago. And back then, she was given hush up money back then, 20 years ago. And there was another co-worker of hers that was almost raped. And it's like some of these people, they just don't learn to back off. It just went to his head. But when I saw that documentary on him and the people, what they had to say, I said to myself, this Harvey Weinstein, he's through. Whether, regardless how good a lawyer he has, I think he's through in the industry because he stepped on the wrong toe. And wow. But I keep asking myself this same question, that people like Harvey Weinstein, alleged crime, that what makes, like, you have predators out there. You have people who do bad things to other people. And you have people who do bad things, but they're caught right away. What makes people like him, who allegedly do things that he's done in the past, what prevents them from being prosecuted? And then what? It's like a hand, that you have a hand that could block something from being seen or have an influence, and then that hand is removed. Something was shielding Harvey Weinstein for all these years, and then that thing was removed, like a shield was removed, and now he's vulnerable. Just like Bill Cosby. For years, he allegedly did X, Y, and Z. And then miraculously, this force or hand removed itself, and now his shield is down and he's at other people's whim. It's this hand that I think is really, really interesting and something that should be examined. That's the real power behind everything. Everything about what we see in Hollywood. It's that hand that could decide to keep it there or remove it. And it's like it's all politics. And I have here, let's see here, I'm just looking at my notes here. Oh, I remember, okay. I have here my notes that what happened with Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, it's a change of the guards. I'm going to repeat it. What happened between Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby is that there is a changing of the guards in Hollywood. That's all. And that this power behind this Hollywood has decided it's a new flavor now. It's a new thing. It's probably going to be the same old thing, but on the surface it's going to look different. It's just a change of the guards. So you remove the old guards, you put a new one. And that's it. And it's going to pacify for a season, but it's going to be the same. Or it's like a book. You have a new chapter. Same book, but a different chapter. That's all what's happening right now. So it's pacifying the women's group, all that stuff. It's pacifying them. It's just a change of the guards. I also want to talk about, there's another. I was shocked. Right after they talked about this Harvey Weinstein, they made mention of another actor, Morgan Freeman. And I'm thinking, oh man, I enjoyed his movies. The only thing that so far, the only thing I heard in the media, that he made someone feel uncomfortable. And I'm thinking, again, I don't know. And this is the first time ever that I heard allegation. And the only thing I heard was that he made someone feel uncomfortable. And I'm thinking, wow, he's... I'm kind of like speechless. But I think, this guy has been in the Hollywood for many years. He's 80 years old. And I think you need more information than just say, he made me feel uncomfortable. More, something more like, did he say like crude jokes, or did he touch your privates? You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe it'll come out later. But I was disappointed to hear. And wow, it's something. I really don't. I'm just a little lost for words. But if he's a culprit, if he came on to people or tried to force himself, people have to be, whether you're male or female, that you have to respect people's boundaries. And yeah, just because someone has money or power, don't abuse it, because you can lose it in a heartbeat. Because again, that hand is there for a season, and it could be removed. But yeah, so even with him, there's Morgan Freeman that I don't know. Someone may want to just remove him for some. I think that he might be getting he's supposed to get some award or something, and it could jeopardize and pull it away from him. Yeah, ladies, what I want to say, I'm really nervous right now. If you have been assaulted or I've said this openly. I've been molested growing up, and then I have been sexually harassed in the military and in the private sector. So I know what it's like to feel victimized, to feel like you have to walk like this with your hands covering yourself. I know that. I've had very bad experiences, so I don't want to diminish. But what I think what I want to say is that, if you have been victimized, let people know. Tell people. But don't lie on people. That's all I'm saying. Don't lie on people, because so maybe hurt your feelings, whatever. When you and I think I did a video about that. There was a woman that lied on this guy. He was 16 year old, and a girl lied on him. And he had to do, how many years? It was a long time. It could have been 20 years. I forget, 20. I forget. I said, that's awful. And then the girl hooks up, communicates with him on Facebook. Or maybe we can be friends, she was saying. I hope there's no hard feelings. Well, what she didn't know, the guy contacted the authorities, and then they got her on tape confessing that he wasn't raped, that she wasn't raped by him. Yeah, don't lie on people. Don't lie. That's all I'm saying. Don't lie on people. Because there's too many of us who have been victimized out there, you know. So if you don't like someone, just stay away from them. And if someone stalks you, touches you, or says something crude, you know what I'm getting at, then you have a right to defend yourself and press charges. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, oh, almost forgot. Yeah, with all this Hollywood stuff now, yeah, people have to be very careful. And before I heard about the Morgan Freeman possible allegations, I'm not going to mention names, but I used to work in retail. And you know, in retail, a lot of women work in retail. And you know, when you have a lot of women together, women talk. When women go into the ladies' room, we talk. And we talk about people that you might meet, different sales, people who you might have sold something to, or maybe they went on a particular date with some. Women talk. And this woman was talking about this particular actor, a very famous actor, and that the person is a flirt. And so I'm thinking, if they got this, if they're going to now expose Morgan Freeman, this other person really better be careful. Again, I'm not going to mention names, but he has to be very careful, because maybe someone may not want him to get certain awards, want to trash, whatever. Because again, it's going to be a changing of the guards. You have an old school, and they want to replace it with a new school, possibly. Yep. So this person better make amends of people that they came on to. Some people might think it's cultural and it's slick, or I'm just being cute, whatever. Not everybody is of your culture. Not everybody wants to be of a particular culture. And so you have to really stop that behavior, because you're going to piss off someone. And if you mess with the wrong person, and if I'm pretty sure they already know about your activities, but you're quiet enough. But again, it's a change of the guards. And if they don't want you to get a particular award because they want someone else to get the award, they can use those things in the past that you did against you. Just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and the other people that might be out there in Hollywood. Yeah. Yep. It'll be really interesting. Really interesting if his name comes out. But again, I will not mention names. Yeah. But it's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I saw something. Yeah, I want to talk about something else. I've mentioned before, I live in a big city. I live in New York City, and I'm seeing more and more men dressing like women. And I think I mentioned before in the video that I'm wondering whether some of the technologies, these weapons, these what do you call it? These new technologies that they have out there, I'm wondering whether it's confusing them, and that they are confused about their gender. Yeah, because it's so much now, and yeah, I noticed with them that they're very very slim, very skinny. These are the people that do the men who dress like women. And today, I saw like this person, so Caucasian, wearing a blonde, looked like a wig or weave of some type, and it was a light blonde, a cheap type of wig. It looked really messy, and it wasn't on straight, and big sunglasses, and the person was wearing short shorts. And at first I thought it was a woman with just a bad hair weave. And I said, that look, wait a minute, that's a man, I thought. And then he stops, and his private part kind of fell out of his short shorts, and he had stopped walking to tuck it back in. I said, oh my God, wow. Whether you think you're a woman or not, but if you still have your anatomy, you use the appropriate devices to keep that tucked in, because of those type of accidents could happen, and yeah, you want things like that private, and you don't want the whole world to watch you put your stuff back in your shorts. Wear the appropriate garment underneath those short shorts so it doesn't fall out. So, yeah, that was wow. I don't know. I just see more, like, I saw this maybe a week ago. This one was a black fellow, dark-skinned black fellow, very skinny, and he's walking very animated, and he wore a panty, a black panty, and it had little lace that was horizontal, like they were like a quarter of an inch apart all throughout the panty, and then he had like a cowboy, like what the cowboys wear when they're riding the horses. I think it's like all open in the front and in the buttocks, and so you see a man wearing panty and this cowboy something, and then I think a pink jacket, and then his hair is pulled up. I don't know. It's like now in New York City, it's like I feel like they want to shock you, and I don't. It's you are who you are. So if you think you're a male or female, but I just understand the clothing. I feel it's just to shock you, and I don't understand why you want to shock people. I don't know. But again, if someone is a transgender or homosexual, that is their choice, and you have the right to express yourself. So that's all that I say about that. Yeah. I want to talk about what was your guys' thoughts about the royal wedding from last Saturday with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw all of it. I got up early, and I watched it. And again, I did air my, what do you call it? I videotaped myself watching the movie. I mean the wedding. It was beautifully done, and I was very emotional at the time. It's like my mind was racing, and it's like two things happening at once with me. part of me who's very happy for her, that she's getting married, the Hollywood type of stuff. But the other part of me is like resistant. Again, I thought what she wore, I thought everything was very tasteful, but it just had, I had some concerns, questions, but I don't know. I hope, how to say this, I don't know. I feel that I don't feel it's going to last long. Right now, everybody's on a high. I'm happy that she's happy and Larry's happy. Harry is happy, but just something, I don't know. Something's not sitting right within me. Everything on the surface was beautiful. Well, it was well planned, but just something inside. I don't think I would really discuss the details, but I don't think it's going to last. I think they're only going to have maybe 5 years together. That's it. I don't know. I look at my list here. The last thing I have here on my list to talk about. I heard. I think it was 2 days ago. I heard about the American ball player who got tased by the cops. He was a black fellow, and when I saw the video of the event, the cop had like the recording, that device that's videotapes what goes on. I started to cry. Because what happened, it just shouldn't have happened. And wow. See, I have family members. I have a family member who was arrested falsely years ago. The person was a teenager at the time. And he was just one person. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. He was just leaving an area. But it was a taxi robbery at I think Knife Point. And he was just walking in the neighborhood where it happened. That's it. He didn't fit the description of the person, but because he was there, the only one that's walking in the vicinity, so it was a squadron of police cars, and they drew out their weapons on this family member, and that scared me when I heard about it. So I think part of that, for that reason, that's partly why I cried. But I'm sorry, my nose is itching. I feel like something like that just shouldn't. It was something that the person. It's too. See the different factors that are happening. It was 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay. His car is in the handicap section, and he's not parked. He's like straddling the line, the car. So it wasn't parked correctly. So the cop went to investigate why this car is not parked correctly, and shortly after, the owner of the car comes out of some establishment, and the cop said, "How you doing? May I see your license?" And from that point on, it was resistance. there was resistance on the ball player, and then the cop responded in a defensive way. So you have two men with egos. And at that point, that's when the cop, he gave a code or something. Like, the cops give codes, and those codes represent something, for some type of back or whatever. But he got a squadron of cars too. So something that was really simple, and then you have the fact that all these cops had arrived, came to his aid. So just that presence alone is going to make the other cops think that something's worse than it is. And it just escalated. So, I'm sorry. So, what I feel about it, that the baseball, the ball player did not want to be touched. The cop's hand or something, he was touched by the cop. And I understand that. In the black community, we're not very physical, we're not touchy, and then you got someone of a different race touching you, and you feel violent. You don't feel comfortable with that. And so cops have to realize, keep your hand, don't touch someone. And that really set him off. And then the cop gets set off. And then all of a sudden, there's like a beehive, and then they swarmed the guy. Why? It was pathetic. I felt badly for the ball player, but I also have to say that I think, you have to think smart. See, even if people think smart, bad things could still happen, but you want to better your situation. And so I think when you see a cop, hey, how you doing, officer? You try to be as pleasant. Cops don't like resistance when they feel they're being challenged. And I guess for me, that you got a gun and I don't have a gun, so I'm going to be very compliant and very, very polite. Be very polite and up. Especially if it's 2:00 at night. You want to try to find out, why is this cop by my car? And yeah, you want to get information, and both people want to get information from each other, and then it blow, then you leave. But again, some cops just might be psychopaths, and then you might have some civilians who just want to be confrontational. So it's just sad that this is happening, and I just don't want I don't want to see any more deaths for something stupid. But it's interesting when there's a so-called terrorist, how they don't seem to kill the terrorists. Either the terrorist shoots themselves, but a lot of times that they survive. And I don't understand why it's when they're a so-called terrorist that the cops don't shoot them dead. But if it's a black man in particular, they shoot to kill. See, things like that is what I'm concerned about. And it's things like this that get me to really accept who I am as a person of African ancestry / black. See, Meghan Markle calls herself a mixed race, and Me too, I am a mixed race also. But I, I came to terms with my racial identity. It took a long time, and it's still developing, my racial identity. And what I mean by that is, see, I have to be honest with myself and why I might want to call myself certain things or not want to be called certain things. And a lot of, I would say with my growing up, it's because of what I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a black person. I didn't want to be associated with anything of the black race because I was ashamed of myself. I was just ashamed. I was taught to be ashamed of having African ancestry. But as I got older in life, I started to question, just like in this spirit journey of mine, that I started questioning my outside world. I asked myself, why? Why this, why that? Rather than saying, why me, like blaming myself. Now I'm starting to look outside and examine, why do you act this way? Why do you do the things that you do? What makes you better than me? And when you start asking yourself things like that, you'll realize that those people outside are no better than you. And you start to see people as they are, insecure individuals. And so and seeing things in history, remembering what happened to a family member that I mentioned that was falsely arrested. Hearing about all these stories that happened to all these men who were innocent. Or maybe, they were doing something wrong, but it just escalated. Some things should not have resulted in deadly force. Not for a minor infraction. And I'm saying, hey, you're not who I thought you were. You start to analyze. Start analyzing. I was always criticizing myself, and I was criticized growing up as a child at home. I think that's where it started, and then being in a school district where you had you had people who were in. I mean, I don't know what their family lifestyle was, but it was a lot of violence in elementary school, and a lot, I think, jealousies. But I realize now as an adult what was happening to a lot of these, in particular, black women. Black women are being treated like they're diseased, that they're not desirable. No woman wants to feel that they're ugly and not desirable. We all want to feel appreciated. And so back in those days, that's what a lot of these women were experiencing. And unfortunately, when they looked at me, they thought that I was a certain way, or that they were jealous or envious. But they didn't know that I was being molested growing up. They didn't know the problems that I was facing. I didn't feel that it was a privilege to look the way I did. It was a burden for me, and it was a burden when you go look for work, because you had a lot of hateful women. I couldn't have a man just talk to me. I would get fired for what someone else does. And so you have to really start looking. Sometimes you look at people and you project, and you may be projecting the wrong thing. You may be projecting that someone's life is special because of the way they look, and it could be a burden. It could be something that's violent. Each one of us have their own cross to bear. Each one of us have our own history. We have events that shape us. And so the next time you look at somebody, whether it's because of their race, whether it's their race or their ethnicity or their nationality, or let's say what their economic status is, it does not mean what you may think. And so, but we all have done that. We all had judged people. I know I judge. I know I judge tremendously. But now I'm seeing that, hey, maybe some of the things that I used to think or act, it was all colored by stuff. And I see that it was colored by ignorance. It was colored by lies that I believed. If you're raised in an environment or you watch television, it shapes the way you think. And so now in my life, I'm seeing life as it's all one big illusion. It's really not real. None of it. I mean, I feel like I'm changing. Everything. How I look at people, I feel different these days. I especially feel different. I watch YouTube a lot, but even I'm getting bored with YouTube now. I feel different even about the videos that I am watching, because it's like you can only go far on a topic. It goes only so far, and maybe it's all about nothing. And some things you just can't change. I don't know what to think about certain things anymore. Even with what they call the secret space program, that was the latest. I don't know what to make out of it. I really don't know. I mean, I did that one interview 2 months ago with Tony Rodriguez, and I supposed to do a follow-up interview with him. I still would like to do it, but even how I feel about the subject, it's not as intense. And again, it's really about me learning about the subject, and again, learning more about myself. So I don't know. I guess this is what life is all about. You get exposed to certain things and you internalize it and you make meaning for you, what it means to you. But one thing, I want to enjoy life, regardless what was happening. I live in this body and I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy going out, getting some sun, getting a nice cool breeze, and just enjoy. We're social creatures, and I like learning about other people, and I do like talking. So I don't know. It's just it's like a crossroad right now that I'm going through. So I guess really what it means that that it's not maybe outside. I have to really start going within, and as I mentioned earlier, I slacked off in doing the meditations because maybe I was getting a little bit afraid of the things I was experiencing, but maybe that just means that I have to do it more, So, yeah, I see. Let me look at some of the comments now. Okay, I have another one from Betty's. She says, "Uh-oh, I love the royal wedding. I got up really, really early to watch it, like me, yes. It's going to be the new generation of royalty and blending of cultures. It will be a positive example." Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Again, the changing of the gods. Yep. And Yeah, so EZ417 is commenting. I think it should have been more about the marriage of Harry and Meghan and not all that socio-political stuff. Just my opinion. FWIW. Yeah, I don't know what that means. What is FWIW? See, I knew with these abbreviations. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, I can see your point. Yeah, it's probably true. Yet I'm old school. Yes, I'm old school also. And an incurable, hopeless romantic at heart. But it has always been a big fanfare of pomp and Yes. Yeah, I watched the wedding, my curiosity, and I am fascinated with protocol. And that could be because of my military background. And I just like order. I do. I love detail. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I mentioned a lot of different topics and feelings about some of them. It should really, I mean, I feel like all these things I mentioned, it's a changing of the guards. Changing of the guards with the royal wedding from last Saturday, Harvey Weinstein being arrested. Let's see what else. Then I mentioned about the test results. Yeah, my test results. Maybe it's a changing of the guards with regard to my spirituality, and Betty was saying about what do you call it, the spiritualism or medium type of stuff. Who knows? It could be. It's a shifting that's happening, and I feel it even within me. It's spooky, but I guess this is what life is about growing up and changing from A to B to C and so on. So I don't know what else to say, but it's good to be in the seat here and have a live stream with you guys, and I enjoy your support, you all. I enjoy listening to you all. I like your comments, and yeah, we could all learn from one another, the comments and everything. And oh yeah, I see that there are other comments here. Oh, there's Alejandro. Alejandro, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's good to see Alejandro. Yes, and let me see what he had said. Oh, yeah, those are. He's saying these devices. Um, think people who use these devices on people are mentally ill. Yes, yes, bingo. People who use these weapons, these electrical weapons, it's awful. Let me see. Yeah, let's see what else here. Okay, I'm reading another thing by Alejandro. That's interesting because the other day I kept getting goosebumps constantly for like 4 hours straight. I thought it was weird. Yes. Wow. Wow, that's something. Let's see. I would I would recommend a YouTube channel, Aphrodite Stone. You will learn a lot about spirituality and more. Okay, I appreciate that, Alejandro. Yes, I'll take a look at it now. Yeah, I never heard of them. Yes, I appreciate your recommendation, and anything that could help me understand what I'm going through and everything. Yeah. So I hope all you guys are are doing well and are safe. Yeah. And this is what do you call it? The holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and we have a lot of military here in town. Yeah, a lot of Navy, and you have the guards, what do you call it, National Guards that are in the water with their weapons. This is the first time I ever saw their weapons out. And they're speeding up and down the Hudson River, and you have a lot of helicopters and stuff. So it should really pick up more once Memorial Day hits. Yeah, it's the official beginning of summer, Memorial Day in New York City. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you all stay safe and sound and enjoy your weekend. And yeah, when the video is going to upload, and you could continue to write your comments and your thoughts of this video, and if you might have forgotten certain things that you meant to tell us. Okay, so thank you again for watching, and Spirit Journey signing off. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.